show. And now, your host, Joe Tyler.
So where'd you get these from? Anywhere special? Or these just
One shot.
Oh, this is their brand?
That's their brand.
Let me see that. Yeah, that was the...
Be careful. It sparks up.
Oh, you press the button and it sparks up?
Yeah, it shuts out right.
That was the last episode I ended up rewatching. What's your relationship like with Vincent Iannelli now? Because I know when you first did his show, like, guys seem pretty broed down. And I know a South Philly guy, when he sees someone he knows or likes, I know how they greet each other. Yobo. Like, that's how it's a recognition of, like, oh, I know you. I know this guy. What up, Bo?
No, we have like our own language, South Philly people. I always say it's like we're not bilingual, we're barely lingual. I say that all the time, so. But no, Vinny's a good guy.
Yeah.
I have this theory about Italians. This is my my humble opinion. Don't go by it, or your listeners don't go by it. But I have this theory about Italian guys when they meet each other. Italian Americans, they either love each other or they want to kill each other.
Yeah.
It's just one of these weird things. You either vibe out right away or it ain't gonna.
I was gonna ask, is it like on site? Like at first look, it's like, no.
You're Italian. You're not Italian.
No.
Nowhere close.
I tell people I'm French Canadian just to get out of the way, just so no more questions.
Yeah.
But the thing I never understood about Italian, not just Italians, Italian Americans, or Italian Catholics, is the fucking 7 fishes.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know there were 7 edible fish before I heard of it.
I mean, for me, that's all we did. There was never any other way. So I don't know.
The alternative.
I remember my my second girlfriend. She didn't do it. She didn't. Her family. They were Italian, South Philly. They didn't do the 7 fishes.
No.
They just had clams and macaroni out in a pan, garlic bread, sausage and meatballs. And I remember, this is how spoiled I am. That's when I realized that I didn't realize how good I had it. I'm like, this is all? This is it?
This is it? Clams
And
and
like,
bread,
you know,
all right.
most people, like, that much food, that's a lot of food.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the...
I assume any Italian meal is
Right.
a lot of food.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what broke the deal? It was not after that?
No, we were together 6-7 years. I'm sure she's doing great. It just didn't work out. You know, comedy, I mean, my wife and me, we started dating when I was, like, really deep into my art.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes that's... A lot of relationships fail with artists because they get into it. They get into it when they first started dating, they weren't artists.
And then it's like all change of person.
Yeah, and then they become an artist, and then it's like you don't make money off of it. And you know the amount of time when you're an artistic person. I mean, look at all the stuff you're involved with, podcasting.
And I haven't even touched a stage or traveled, you know?
Occasionally stand up. Like, you got your hands in everything. Acting work. You know, someone like yourself, you keep busy. So it's like, I'm sure you've dealt with it. Mm-hmm. Where you get, you know, when you're in a relationship. I mean, my wife's probably the first person that really understood me. Like, she really got it.
In terms of your ambitions?
Nah, because I'm a working class guy. You know, I'm a 9-to-5 guy, but I always treated comedy like work from when I started in 2012. I always treated it like a job because the goal is for someday to be the main hustle.
Yeah.
But I looked up the comics like Vic DiBenedetto and Sebastian
Maniscalco.
Yeah, because these are guys, that were blue collar. They had jobs. They weren't afraid to admit that they had jobs, and they were killers on the stage.
And Sebastian's been doing it forever.
Yeah, people think he came out of nowhere.
He was on the original Conan show.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking forever.
So, you know, that's another thing. Like, I don't know how long. I know when we reconnected and you asked me to do this, you said when you were first starting out, I was very nice to you, and but not everybody's that way. Not everybody's that way, and not everybody's real too. It's like I took comedy classes, and I feel like, and they did a lot for me. I don't knock anybody that teaches a comedy class, but I think the one thing they leave out when someone teaches a comedy class or mentors a young comic, they should tell them that, you know, this is going to be a long journey, and you don't even know if you'll ever make a living off of it. So make sure you earn and pick a job or a career that's going to allow you to do comedy 30 to 40 hours a week. Right. See, I knew I wasn't going to quit. So I got into the gaming industry because of the flexibility.
Yes,
I did waitering for a while, but then I got into the gaming industry because that's flexibility too. So it runs 24 hours. You know?
Right. So depending on your shift, like you work it out to where you are doing 3-4 sets a week.
Yeah, and it always bothered me that comics say, "Oh, you know, don't ever tell anybody you have a job, or you work, you have another, you know, you make a living doing this." Like, why? When you get up there, that's what matters. What you do on the stage, that's what matters.
Yeah.
You know. You have a day job. I mean,
so who cares if you're spending 40, 50 hours busting your ass from 5 a.m. until 5 p.m.?
Right.
You know, you get on the stage, you kill at 8 p.m.
Right.
What's the problem?
Yeah, your work's going to speak for itself.
How important is it to find a job that not just works with your schedule, but like doesn't take away from your mental capacity? Like a job that you take home with you must be miserable trying to do anything, not just artistically, but anything outside of work. So many people have a 9 to 5, and they're so miserable from it that they just want to go home and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Ambitions aside, they're just like, no, that was exhausting. I'm done.
The gaming industry.
Not that it's easy.
The only two I did was the gaming industry and the restaurant industry, and you don't take any of that home with you.
Mm. Oh, next day new people come.
Unless you're me, I'm a psychopath. I read into everything. That's the type of guy I am. I read into everything, and I talk about that on stage. You know, it's like that's me. You know, I'm a comic. We're people pleasers.
Yeah,
that's what we want, right? So, you know, I got into stand up because I wish I started earlier. Youth kills in this business. Youth and consistency destroys in this business. Sticking with it. This business is all drive and perseverance. You gotta be in it, and you gotta live it, and you gotta.
You try not to say fake it till you make it.
No, you don't fake it till you make it, but you gotta come to terms with yourself that I'm a comic. It took me a long time because I'm a humble person. It took me a long time to get around like a Brett Ernst and a Vic and a Vic DiBenedetto and a Dom Irrera.
Which congratulations for opening again.
And like Craig Robinson, like meeting stars and telling them you're a stand-up. It took a while for me to, because I had a day job. It took me a while to say, "Oh, I'm an aspiring comic," because I'm not someone that bullshits people. For the longest time on my Instagram or my bio or my website, I was an aspiring stand-up. I'm a comic. Now it took me a long time. It took me 8-9 years to be comfortable saying that to people.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be labeled as a hobbyist. I didn't want to be a comic that, you know, we were talking about it earlier. You know, you said you did it for 2, you stopped for a while, now you're diving back into it. Mm-hmm. But at least you're being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You know that this shit, you got to be out every night. It's the only way you're going to find your voice. My first 5 years, I was on stage 15 times a week, anywhere and everywhere. I'm just approaching my 10th year. I start a family. I have a healthy daughter now. I got a baby girl. I got a stepson. So now, with the relationships I built, I can get quality stage time on my own terms because of the work I put in the 10 years. So if I want to get up 15 times a week, I do it. But like a night like tonight, I might go by the Punchline. I know the guy that's running the show. I might work out 10, 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. But those types of opportunities wouldn't be there if I didn't bust my ass the first 8 years.
Again, what we said beforehand is in Boston and in Philly, I have no recent body of work. No one's seen me on a stage. So, I can't walk into a place and they're looking for someone with experience. Do I have experience? Not any recent experience, but, you can go to most clubs. They'll give you time. You put in the work.
Well, what you should say to them is I was a stand-up and I stopped for a while and I'm just getting back into it. And don't make it about the stage time. Just say you want to be here.
I'll be happy with 3 minutes.
Don't even talk about this. Say you want to be around. You want to support the room. And consistency, right? We just said that. The more you're out there, the more you're around the club or the comedy show, whatever it is, a bar, an independent showcase. You're supporting the room. They're gonna want to help you out. They're gonna throw you up. They're gonna give you time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I worked in 2 markets where they're great to develop. My first 4 years, I was in Philly, and then Chicago is I tell any new comedian starting out, the open mic scene when I was out there. I don't know how much it's changed after COVID.
Drastically.
But Chicago, Philly, I was getting up 15 to 17 times a week with mics.
Holy shit.
When I first started. And then Chicago was double that.
Just because of availability?
No, it's a comedy city. It's a comedy city, When I started Philly, my schedule was Sunday nights we would have Fergie's Pub, Lickety Split on South Street, and Fergie's Pub, Lickety Split on South Street. There was one other one on Sundays. There was a show. There was an urban show at Club Risque.
Okay.
And what worked for me is I wasn't afraid to get in front of black audiences when I first started out, so I would do any show I can. So they would put me up a lot because when you're a white comic at a black club, you're kind of like a novelty act.
Right, when what guy shows up at the Apollo, it's uh-oh.
No, but even if you struck out and you were terrible, it's change, And then a seasoned host had a lot to talk about and work off of if you missed. So, I did a lot of black rooms when I first started, and I have no regrets with that.
How much does that help your development, getting in front of a crowd that isn't necessarily, quote unquote, your crowd? I've done the show that we did 7 years ago at this point, was a hipster crowd. I didn't think I'd get a hipster crowd. I didn't even think about who the crowd would be. But my jokes weren't typically engineered towards a more liberal crowd. Is that something you put any thought into? And do you enjoy the challenge of a crowd not necessarily leaning your way?
That's why the road's important and moving. See how you're going to Boston? Mm-hmm. You're going to be different there.
Definitely takes away a lot of the local
Jay Leno says, he said something in that Comedy Store documentary. He said, as soon as you start killing in one city, get out of there. LA comics that never do the road, they become too LA. New York, they just do the city rooms. When they do the road and they get an opportunity to stretch and work out an hour, they don't do well at it.
Yeah.
So, That's why I developed a showcase that I bring on the road. And, you know, the first time I performed in Ohio, I ate shit. And then I couldn't wait to go back there in a year, made adjustments to my set, and I killed. So it's like, if you're not doing the road, or you're on the road with somebody, like opening for somebody, you're never going to be able, eventually you got to make your act very, you got to bring people into your world, you know. But we got a little off topic. So Sundays when I first started out, I would do 3 shows. Monday was Mike on Fairmount Street that I think Matt McCusker ran for a while. Chris O'Connor. And then there's one other room on Monday. Man.
I love how it's engraved in your head like high school buddies.
So there was like Sunday, Monday, you hit 5 stages on those 2 nights. Tuesday was the Helium open mic if you got up, and Medusa Lounge. And then I started an open mic at Patty Wax on South Street. So right there, that's 7 to 8 stages in 3 days. Wednesday was Comedy Cabaret and Parks Casino. Would give opportunity to young comics like guest sets. Mm-hmm. So they were near each other. Ben Salem, I had a car too. So by Wednesday, if you were out every night, it's 7 stages. Thursday, Raven Lounge, of course, legendary. Mm-hmm. Known Mike. Raven Lounge. There was one at on South Street. Forget the name of the Irish pub. That was on Mondays and Thursdays. So like right there, Sunday through Thursday, if you dedicated yourself to your craft, you would get up 8 to 10 times. Friday, you literally can go to any comedy club, sit there, study the greats, the working comics, the national acts, watch great comedians. Open micers, I feel like a lot of mistakes that could set you back when you're first starting out is watching bad comedians. Watch great comedians. Watch what they're doing different. You know, get in front of real audiences and bomb. Don't get in front of comics and bomb. Do it in front of both. Bomb in front of both. I never understood that either. I never understood how comedians would not want to be in clubs or bomb at comedy clubs. Now, what I do understand 10 years into this now is there's a lot of people I got in front of early that when I didn't have much of an act, that sticks with them. And that's how they know me.
Okay.
They'll always view me based on that performance. And for the longest time, I took that personally. I was like, this fucking guy, he's booking guys that aren't funnier than me or haven't been doing it as long. Like, I'm more polished. I have a voice. Yeah. And I would take that personal, but that was my mistake. I can't hold that against a booker if they haven't seen me in 7 years. And they didn't know I was 3 years in. Yeah. So for me, what I do now is like if there's a booker that pays well and he gave me an opportunity really early on and I didn't perform well, I don't send the tape or I don't send them my avails. I'll tell them, hey, I'm going to pass through the club. I want to come and support the room. I'll try to get a guest spot and show my skills that way, like unpaid work.
Yeah.
So.
That's interesting. There's a lot of people, when I tell them that I'm going back and trying to do open mics and stand up, like, oh, I could never. Like, I could never. And that's when, like, when you're talking about the dedication you need and, like, not even, like, a fear you have to overcome, but there are some people who just immediately are like, nope, never, can't do it.
It's ego.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, what we do is not normal.
No.
It's not normal.
No.
you're trying to get strangers to like you.
You're buying a ticket to the gallows, man. Like,
No, it's really a strange thing. Like the toughest, most successful people in the world, they don't want to get in front of a group of people and win them over.
yeah.
It's like, it's a bizarre drug. It's, Bill Burr, I listened to his podcast. He said something right after COVID. He was walking his dog. I don't know the specific, don't quote me on this. Your listeners know about it. He was walking his dog in California, and a kid, he had a hat on, sunglasses, and a kid gave him a flyer for a comedy show. He didn't know it was Bill Burr. He's like, free comedy show tonight. So he comes home with the dog. He puts the flyer on the table. His wife sees it. She goes, what's this? He said, oh, they're doing a comedy show around the corner. This was like all the clubs. The comedy was done.
Yeah.
So his wife says, you should go to the show. Go to the show. Get up on stage. You haven't done it in forever. Bill Burr, the biggest comic in the world, arguably.
Murder.
One of the best.
Every time he goes out.
He goes up and he does like an hour at this kid's show in front of like 26 people. And he said it was the best time he's had. He don't remember having that much fun doing stand-up since when he started in Boston. And he says, that's when it dawned on me that that's another, he didn't say dawned on me, but it's another reminder that like I've found my calling in life, my dream job.
Yeah.
Because he would do it for nothing. And that's, it's not easy what we're doing,
Yeah. Easier for him. But you're right. You're given, most people give a time constraint, but like, go make those people not only like you, but borderline love you. They have to laugh at you. They have to like...
The process sucks. It sucks. I think about quitting all the time. I always do.
But that's good because you decide not to every day. You know?
But I'll go on like a 2-week binge where I'm like, I try not to think funny or perform. I'm like, fuck this. This is crazy. But it just became a part of me. It's just, I enjoy it so much. Everybody has a thing. And where I'm from in South Philly, there's not guys that are into the arts. It's a very, very weird.
Yeah.
But I've won over. That's another thing. Like the support I've gotten from my neighborhood in recent years. I'm humbled by it. That people respect what I'm doing.
Dude, they respect it. They talk about you been on the news.
Yeah, local news, but I mean, it ain't. Again,
come on, but you're so humble.
No, I'm just saying. It's like I've made a name for myself as a comedian in the area, and that's something. Something to be said about that. So it's pretty cool. It's a really it's fun. It's still fun. The minute it stops getting fun, you gotta like throw in the towel if you're not enjoying yourself.
Because then what are you doing it for, really?
Yeah,
Then it becomes that 9 to 5 we just talked about where you're miserable afterwards.
But it's still work. Either way, it's work,
That's what I mean. Like, taking that time off for me was necessary because, like, I don't want to... Out of all the performing arts, like, I love acting. I've been getting into acting. I put more focus on that than in stand-up. But I respect stand-up so much more that, like, I wouldn't take 4 or 5 jokes that I've been fucking with, like, to, like, an actual show. I'd go to, like, an open mic. But if someone was like, yo, we have a spot open, 10 plus minutes, just need someone, like, I don't have anything polished. I don't want to go up there, call myself a stand-up comedian, and without, like, having already put my heart into it.
You should tell them that.
Yeah, well...
That's what you got to do when they're like, oh, we got a 15-minute spot. You say, oh, well, I'm comfortable doing 7. I'll do 15.
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't get me wrong. I can do it. I can get up there and stretch and make a 15.
Yeah.
But will I believe that I put my whole heart into it if it's that short notice? Like, absolutely not. I haven't workshopped certain jokes. Like, I would be going up and calling myself like a ready-to-go stand-up comedian with jokes that I'm not even, 100% on. And when we met, that's what you said to me. Is just brief backstory. The first show I ever did was 6-7 years ago with Steve here. I was like the second on stage. But you told me, because I was nervous. I told you that. It's like, I'm on stage with you today, and like, I was sitting by myself. You're like, yo, do you like your jokes? And I was like, yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. Don't even worry about it. And then you walked away. That was it. Where everyone else, like all the other open mics, I'd go outside and talk to someone, and they like turn their head and shit. But like, no, that made me realize that like, if I'm confident in my jokes and I think that they're polished enough, if I have belief in myself, then why the fuck not? Just go do it.
Yeah, well, this is a really weird business too. Comedy's a weird game. Like, it's like, let me give you, here's a comparison. Not that I know anything about the world, but, I watch a lot of documentaries on crime and thugs and gangs and mobsters and...
R.I.P. Ray Liotta.
Yeah, rest in peace, absolutely. But, like the life of people that are in organized crime or anything like that, they, it's business, right? So, like, sometimes they'll be breaking bread with somebody that they might have to potentially kill one day. Show business is like that in a really weird, fucked up way. Like, Sinatra's opener, Tom Dreesen, who's a stand-up comic, he said on a podcast once, he said, the lesson he learned from Frank Sinatra, love this. I watch this podcast all the time as motivation because I make my personality, I make shit get to me sometimes because I'm just somebody where be nice to people. I'm just that way with everybody and treat people human, treat them like human beings. Give everybody a chance. But not a lot of people are like that. So Sinatra has this saying. He says to his opener, he says, there was a time I was hot. I was the hottest thing in the world. Tonight Show, any movie, I was so hot, I can call the White House. They'd let me in the front door for dinner. He's like, and then I got cold. I got really cold. Agents, managers, stars weren't answering my calls. Then I went out to Vegas, Rat Pack, I got hot again. I would see all these people on the red carpet, and they would put their head down because they knew they didn't treat me right when I went cold. He said, and what I realized, that's what he says. He says, what I realized is this is show business, and there was nothing that I could do for them. It's business. At the time, there was nothing I could do for them. So, where he said he was wrong is, I thought they were my friends. And that's a deep. Think about it. It's a fucking cutthroat game. Show business is a cutthroat game. You do some acting work. Well, I guarantee if they seen you in a Scorsese role doing or speaking role, you wouldn't be able to keep up with the emails and the shit in your inboxes of people wanting you to work on projects with them. Mm-hmm. But like, you're at a grinding level, like 70% of the artists out there, and you're like, it's tough. You're running your own business,
Mm-hmm. That's why everyone wants to do business.
It's a tough business. Whenever somebody tells me they want to get into comedy,
how thick's your skin, bud?
No, I comedy, acting, anything like that. I say you gotta. I don't know if you love comedy the way a 14-year-old kid loves playing a sport. Like, he can't wait to be out with his friends.
Or masturbating. Like,
well,
that just loves it.
That too.
Compulsively. I was trying to be funny.
I was earlier than 14.
But you're in your prime at
Yeah.
14. Off topic. Off topic.
But no, you got to be obsessed. That's what I tell people.
And you seem obsessed. Not that you just been doing it forever, but like it's like every other day. It's like new show. The 7 for 7 in Albany. Like that was in what? That was at Helium a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, Helium. We're having another one in September. See, like that's cool. Like that's an accomplishment. Like you got to take baby steps. Like I remember I used to show up at Helium. No comedians would talk to me. I wasn't really well liked and respected in the beginning. It wasn't easy the first 2 years because I was very Jersey Shore-ish. You know, I was different than all the other stand-ups.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot. It's high school when you first start out. They don't know how long you're going to stick around. Is this dude for real? Is he one of us? But then after 6-7 years, dude, this guy's everywhere. He's grinding. He's one of us. You win over people's respect. That's cool.
Just by seeing your face and showing up.
No, and being better.
Yeah.
You know, being better. I wasn't good quick. Getting funny was hard for me. Consistent laughs. But I wasn't afraid of the development. I knew that bombing and failing was a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I always treated people nice. Even the ones that were dicks, I was still nice to. Now it's hard. Now, like, I'll tell a headliner to go fuck himself if he tries to treat me, because I'm not a national known act.
Did you say there was you didn't name anybody, but you said there was a nationally known act who was just a miserable asshole to you?
Yep.
Like you didn't even mention a reason. You just like, you guys were drinking at the bar afterwards and they just...
Nice.
Any idea why? Like, thinking back, because that podcast was about a year ago.
I mean, I could look at it from the outside in. Again, this is just my opinion on it. I could be wrong, but look, in life, there's people you want to help, there's people you like, and there's people you don't like, and comics, they have a position of power on you when they're hot or they know they're good at it and you're not. And there's two approaches with that. You could either be an asshole about it and a punk, or you could fucking want to like help people and like one day, you know, who the fuck are anybody in life? We all wake up in the morning and wipe our asses and shit and brush our teeth. Like, nobody's fucking special, you know. So treat everybody with respect. That's just me, you know. So, and I was always the type of person. I hung with the cool crowd, but I was friends with the nerds. Mm-hmm. I was like really weird, like that weird type of guy. I was friends with everybody. Yeah. So whenever I see a fucking like a comedian be a dick to another comedian, I get so, and I'm not a violent guy, but that gets me so mad. Like, this shit's hard enough.
Right, they make it harder.
I still can't get past that. I'm doing this 10 years. I still, like, I don't know if you watched the podcast that when we had Brett Ernst on. Yeah. And he says in it, he's like, you're a stone cold fucking maniac. Like, you got to stop caring about shit like that. Yeah. Because, I mean, Brett's in my eyes, he's one of the best comics in the world.
I still scroll through his clips.
Still can't believe he's a friend. And it's like, you know, I don't know. I hate bullies. Yeah. But the real world's like that. Like, somebody could be nice to me, but an asshole to you. So what are they? What are they?
So maybe it's not just Italians. Maybe it's everyone who decides very quickly.
You know, so I don't know.
But it seems like you've surrounded yourself with a group of like not just comedians, but like supportive people, to where it's like less of an issue now than it was in the past.
It wasn't always that way, though.
Oh yeah, of course. But like you said, you've been putting in the work for so long that like that's all you really have to focus on now is just staying consistent in your craft.
Well, I wasn't going to stop regardless. You know, I wasn't going to stop regardless. But you know, you just gotta really love comedy to be a comic. You gotta love the bad parts of it. It's such a shitty fucking business. Such a shitty business. You got comedians that they'll make it like they're making a living off of it. They're winning in comedy, but they're failing in life. A lot of that. Like, they're not even honest with themselves. And then they're going to treat a comedian like shit. It's like, I don't know. I don't need to be the best comedian. I want to be the nicest. Maybe that'll be my legacy one day.
The nicest comedian ever.
Funny as shit and treated everybody nice. Everybody.
Someone that people want to go on the road with.
Yeah. You know, I'd take pride in that, you know. I mean, and I want to be funny. You know, you want to be respected by your peers, but
your peers respect the shit out of you. There's nationally recognized comedians who respect, like, and appreciate you and your work. So it's showing, man.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. Maybe. Look, I've worked with some great acts. I became friends with some great acts, and I just the grind hasn't changed. I get up on stage as much as possible. If I don't have any shows, I hang in a comedy club. That's what works for me.
You live it, man.
There's not a night off. If you're not doing a podcast or around another artistic person and you want to do this, you should be in a comedy club watching good comedy.
Like studying.
That's why these LA and New York guys, they're killers on stage because they're following the best acts in the world. Yeah. Chris Rock's doing drop-ins, Jerry Seinfeld, Sebastian, Burr. They drop into these clubs and you got to like follow them. How can you not get good?
Yeah.
You gonna run? You know?
That would scare me a little bit.
Nah, but that's an opportunity. That's how you gotta look at it.
That's a good point.
Like, I'm gonna get up here and find a way.
Yeah, like I get to follow Chris Rock and work my way through.
You gotta figure it the fuck out. You know? Michael Blackson showed up at a random show in Philly Wednesday. I seen pictures all over Instagram. I almost called it the Instagram like my grandpa.
The Instagram?
The Instagram.
Oh, I catch myself with the Facebook.
Yeah.
It's all right. We're in our 30s. We're getting there, man.
Ain't it crazy? Like, Facebook is ancient now. Like, you go up to like a 20 or 21-year-old and you tell them, are you on Facebook? They're like, my grandma's.
We used to make those jokes. Like, if a person was old, but you got a MySpace? Now it's catching up with us. Do you have the Facebook?
Up, dude.
So you're not to go away from the talking about the pursuit of the art or whatnot, but social media in general. You as a person, I don't think, are super up and up on being on social media. Are you? Like, you promote on social media. But Steve Rinaldi, the person, how present are you as an individual?
No pictures of my wife, no pictures of my daughter.
So exactly how everyone wants their social media. Just
I promote my comedy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all. Absolutely it. I think, and this is no disrespect to anybody, that's weird to me. That is fucking weird to me to be an adult and broadcast your life. I can give you a million reasons why I think that's strange.
Give me one.
First of all, how many friends you got on Facebook?
Oh, I don't know, like 1,589.
How many of them are friends? Friends.
A dozen. Like,
Right.
give them a hug. Nice to see
So why
you.
would you want them to know what the fuck your daughter looks like? Think about how creepy that is. If one of them is a weird fucking... There's a million reasons why I think it's just straight... Now look, you got a social media, you follow just your close friends and your family. I totally get it. It's a way to stay connected. I got relatives that post their fucking lottery tickets when they hit.
When they win.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Like, I don't know. I'm just so gone from that reality.
Yeah.
I think so. I use social media the way I want to use it, but who am I to judge anybody that uses it differently?
No, but you do have a point. Like, it is like walking down the street and everyone you see, this is what my kid looks like. This is what my kid looks like. I'm guilty as fuck, and I'm always on social
And
media.
I'm not judging you. I'm saying why that wouldn't work for me.
Oh, yeah.
I got a beautiful wife. My stepson is very well gifted kid, good athlete. I could post every championship he wins. And
It wouldn't change.
And with being a parent too, I feel like you got a responsibility. It's not what you say; it's what they see, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be able to tell my kids when I raise them that why that's not important.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's important to people now. That's the world we're living in.
You're not wrong.
You know, it makes you're making other people feel down. Like even with the comedy stuff, sometimes I catch myself like unconsciously comparing my career to someone else's, and then you lose sight of the growth that you've made as an artist because you start thinking about, oh man, he's been doing it 8, I've been doing it 8. He got on the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did I do? It's just a different lane. Focus, you know. I like that Joe Rogan line. He says, "Post it and ghost it."
Post it. He doesn't read the comments.
Fucking that is a G quote. I want to put it on a T-shirt.
Post it and ghost
Post it and ghost it. Don't look at the comments.
Right in the workspace. Post it and ghost it.
But I don't. I'm a jerk off. I gotta interact with people.
Oh, I do it all. I don't interact in the comments, but like I've been an ass. I'll DM, be like, hey, what did you mean? I'm an unfunny sack of shit who should die in hell.
You ever comment someone else's shit and you're like, it's kind of weird. I shouldn't have did that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Why'd I say that? You know?
I'll get stoned at night, and that's what I end up doing because like. Not everyone's your friend on fucking Facebook, so you'll comment on something because of the post. When you look at who posted, like I don't know that person.
Right.
That was a stranger I just spoke to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's don't think that I judge it. This is just me, the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I use social media just to promote the comedy work. That's it.
Yeah.
That could change easily.
Oh, like next month you just get someone's gonna click in you and be like, you know what? My breakfast looks absolutely photogenic this morning. I'm gonna post it.
I mean, I got a beautiful baby, and my baby girl, she's 3 months, and like, I see a lot of people posting pictures of their kids and their ugly kids. Like, I got a beautiful kid, and I don't post any pictures of her.
Well, no offense.
So
you
sometimes
think you have a beautiful kid. What if you get trash? You post it, and it's like likes, no hearts, just likes.
Yeah.
See, for someone who doesn't use social media that often, that might not hit you. But like, just a blue thumb, you're at the age where you might just do that. Just hit the blue thumb. It's
Right.
almost disrespectful. If I posted a picture of my daughter and I got all blue thumbs, I'm deleting it. Fuck you all. My daughter's beautiful. I need hearts. I need care emojis.
See, that's sick.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's fucking nuts.
It is, out of all the ways I'm sick, I will rank my sickness with social media very low on the list. Very low. So we're running through, there's 2 questions I want to ask you before you get out of here. One's for me, one's for them. I want to know your top 3. Not just your favorite comedians, but the ones who've influenced you the most. Like, when I go up on stage, like Jim Carrey's walk and his mannerisms, just like being an oddball, like I take that with me. Not that I picked that and was like, I want to do that, but like when I think of going on stage, that's just what comes over me. who's influenced you in terms of, big name comedians growing up where you're like,
Big name, mainstream? Yeah, of course I can name...
Like influence. If I asked your favorites...
I can name mainstream, but it's like when you do stand-up and you're a club comic, some of the comedians that I look up to and think are great at stand-up, most people haven't even heard of.
Tell them.
Which is fucking crazy. But it's... But mainstream, it's like... I don't know, man. I was in the Three Stooges fan club when I was first and second grade. I used to love black and white films, Laurel and Hardy, comedy in its roots, Charlie Chaplin. Like, I got appreciation for that. I loved early SNL in the 90s. Like, you look at the talent that came out of there, like Mike Myers, Adam Sandler, Def Comedy Jam. I always thought that was funny. Dom Irrera, obviously from South Philly. The fact that Dom calls my cell phone and asks me to open for him.
That must be fucking surreal.
It's such a fucking mind fuck. It's like Dom Irrera calls my cell phone. Leaves me voicemails.
He has your number.
I save voice... No, I don't want to say save. That sounds really fucking weird.
You don't delete.
But, like, I don't delete them. I'm like, oh my God, fuck it. In my eyes, Dom is like... In my neighborhood, he's, Dom Irrera, like, tells me, I'm performing in AC, it's just crazy. Crazy. Dom, Brett's a friend. I think Brett Ernst is the best comic working today.
He has such a presence, man.
So it's like, and a lot of the stuff he talks about hits so close to home. Because, he's Italian, New York, he lived in Florida. So I could relate to a lot of his material. But, mainstream, Jim Carrey. See, not a lot of people know Jim Carrey was such a great stand-up comedian.
Oh, he would try shit that I would never even think that would work on stage.
They think like Ace Ventura, The Mask, Cable Guy.
But what got him those jobs? Like, his stand-up was pretty not revolutionary, but like he was trying to be weird.
Yeah. So, the Wayans brothers that got the oldest Wayans brother, I forget his name. He started Living Color, and he said Jim Carrey was in the comedy clubs, and industry didn't know what to do with this fucking guy, but he was so great, and they gave him a shot, and the rest is history. He wrote Ace Ventura, and I seen an interview with Jim Carrey recently, and they asked him what he thought, what were some of his favorite films of his. Mm-hmm. And I love that he put Cable Guy as the number one. Because, like, some people watch that and they're just like, this is fucking weird.
Right.
I love it.
Dude, yeah, Matthew Broderick's
Truman
so fucking
Show.
good.
He brought up Truman Show. He named all the ones that I like.
Yeah.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
He named
all these fucking weird that people watch and they like.
But wouldn't say Ace Ventura.
He did say Ace Ventura because he said that's where it all started.
Yeah.
Is, Spike.
Yeah, but just the ability to have the balls to try the shit that he tried.
Yeah.
Like just some weird Canadian kid.
He's like Robin Williams, where they didn't give a fuck. They just kept going and going and going. It's just like
you said before, there's a craziness to it in the consistency. Like, you could do 10, 15. Imagine being...
Sometimes I say shit up there, and it's like, somebody could easily tape what I just said. Like, I'm working this out. It's not a bit yet.
Right.
But it's a thought. And it's like, you're being true to the art. That's why I like this whole cancel culture shit, and people tape you working a bit out, and they say, oh, this person's serious. We're comedians,
Nothing's serious.
You're looking for the funny in the shit.
Yeah.
You got to search for the funny in the worst situations. So
I'm glad you brought it around to that, like people getting too serious about stand-up comedy. Because I have a comedian in my home. I have to ask the question, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, What if you start telling a joke about your Aunt Rose's meatballs and someone's like, my mom's meatballs are the best. And they get offended and they come on stage and...
Someone beat me up over a meatball. That could be the spark.
Yeah.
That can make me mainstream. You're onto something.
Try it out, man. Go to South Philly and tell everyone that their moms and grandmoms and aunts meet...
Complete
Sloppy
shit.
Joes, bro. Might as well be tomorrow's Sloppy Joes.
It's fucking dog food.
Yeah.
I really don't think... I think it was always there. This whole person jumping on stage shit. It was always there.
This is obviously isn't the first time. It has happened often and recently, but it's in the public eye now.
Security in comedy clubs never was really that good.
Aren't half the security guards at comedy clubs comics as well, who were just working there? Aspiring comics.
I never met a guy that's doing security at a comedy club and I'm like, hey man, I trust you. Never once in my life was I like, guess what? I know you got me. Yeah. If someone has a gun, I know you're going to take it. Never once have I felt that way. So it's like, yeah, it's funny. Like, people were texting me after all that shit happened. Because, like, for a lot of people where I grew up, I'm the only comedian they know, and a person, people are texting me, what did you think? What did you think? And I'm just like, Will Smith went Philly on him. That's what happened. That's what happened. He's having a lot of problems at home. Clearly, his marriage is suffering. And
his marriage isn't suffering. His wife brought him on her show to talk about how she cheated on him.
And for a second, he forgot that as a public figure, superstar, you're the punchline. It comes with the territory. And he fucking cracked that dude. It's just crazy. It's really out of control. Like, what Chris Rock said is so true. Dude. He said, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. Best moment in television history. It is so true.
Yeah, I mean,
like Kanye's Taylor Swift thing is forgotten
is now down here.
It's not even.
There's Will Smith, George Bush being told about 9/11, then Kanye, Taylor Swift.
Now that dude tackling Chappelle is like now a lot of the mainstream comics were waiting. They were waiting.
For it to happen.
Let's let it happen again. Watch what happens. And then a fucking guy 2 weeks later tackles Chappelle. Did you see what they did?
Tried to tackle Chappelle. They beat the shit out of that man.
So it's like crazy.
That person. I'm sorry. They're them on social media. So they beat the shit out of that person.
It's just, I don't know.
Dude, Chappelle got moves, man. He's stiff on the ground. He wasn't going down.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
So you're not afraid of that at all?
Dude, you can get... somebody can crack me when I'm leaving the podcast right now.
And they might. I'll tell them not to.
I'm just saying, you got to be prepared in life to defend yourself. So, never once did I think, I'm not going to do this no more.
Right. But now that social media and the media in general are making a big deal about it.
It's not as safe to walk down the street anymore than it was before COVID.
Yeah. Especially in this city.
So, no, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
I think it's going to die down, though. Everybody talking about it.
Or at least them posting pictures or videos of it happening. Yeah. Like it's going to be back to the rarity that it used to be.
Chris Rock getting slapped is like the new Jordan crying meme.
And I love it. Because it's Will Smith. Like, I have a soft spot for Will Smith. And you're right, he is going through a lot of shit. I'll give him a pass.
He gave up on that cigar, by the way, pretty quick.
It got to the point when I got down. I told him, I'm just getting off cigarettes.
Oh, okay. I hear you.
So that's from Twin Smoke Shop.
Twin Shop. Shout out to the Twin Shop.
So I think that's a good place to leave it. And you can check out his episode on South Philly Spots at Twin Smoke Shop.
YouTube South Philly Spots. And do the podcast with Mike Adams, another really funny Philly comedian, a friend. jumped in the podcast game about a year and a half ago. I didn't want to do it, but now I'm really enjoying it. I think these are weird. I think podcasts are weird. They're weird as shit.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like
It's me and you, and then a like question mark of whoever the fuck. Like this isn't a genuine interaction, right this second.
Right,
like the
right.
words are right. Like this isn't me and you off camera like beforehand.
it's a
Like,
hang, man. It's you know, that's the new thing. It's like comics get together, they bullshit about life, they catch up, and you know, it's a new thing. Who knows what the next thing's gonna be?
Dude,
Who would have thought 10 years ago that you set up a computer in a room and you bullshit and people fucking tune in and enjoy it? It's crazy. It really is weird. The world is weird. It's just like
there was nothing like this in the first early days of YouTube. It was just cartoon unicorns and old Greg.
Well, this setup we're doing right now is the same that Rogan started with.
Yeah.
Watch episode 1.
It's a computer chair.
It's him and Segura sitting on a couch. I think it's Tom Segura.
Mm-hmm.
When he first started podcasting, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
It was so long ago, and Red Band helped him out because he was doing his own podcast before that. But like, they didn't know what the fuck they were just killing time talking to other comedians.
But this is an art. You're being creative, you know.
Or at least trying to.
Right. I have friends that do this. I wouldn't know how to just set this up anywhere.
No? Dude, I brought this from Boston. I was like, just couple small things. It's crazy how little you need to start a podcast. A camera, and if your laptop or phone records sound, you're set.
Well, it used to be all audio.
Yes. Right? To begin with, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the people who could afford a decent enough camera, they threw the camera in it. But like the whole sit down and talk for however long, like much more recent.
Right.
But I try to switch it up. I brought 3 people on with me where it's called the GODcast, where we sat down and we watched 10 different clips of porn that I handpicked, 60-second clips, and we would just get our reaction to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable with that.
Yeah, not many people are. I asked 12 people. I got 3.
Yeah.
That's just how that works. Dude, Steve.
My man.
Thanks for coming by, dude.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate you. Joe the Show, you're already on my fucking YouTube channel. SteveRinaldiComedy.com?
SteveRinaldiComedy.com. Upcoming shows, the podcast, YouTube, all that.
And
Thank you.
Dom Irrera in July.
I'm opening for Dom in July in Philly. Yep.
Great. You should go. I'm going to try to make my way to Philly to see more comedy
he's
because
gonna
I
heckle
fucking
me.
need to.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the one thing I'll never do. It's such a cringe thing to fucking do is heckle a comedian. Where if I see someone even like talking to the person next to them, I'm like, oh my God, stop. What are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
But all right, folks, thanks for coming by. Steve, thanks for coming by. Till next time.